Hi, everybody. Welcome. All right, so don't laugh at my headphones, but there's something going on with Facebook, and it's not letting people go live and add people without having this weird echoey noise. So I figured we would try with headphones. Actually, people said try with earbuds, but I hate earbuds. Do you guys feel my pain on this? Does anybody else hate earbuds as much as I do? They just never stay in my ear the right way, so I decided to come on with headphones. So I am so excited to hop on here because we have an amazing, really cool live for you guys tonight about something that happened last week. So maybe you guys have been checking out my social media and you saw that I went to this super cool whitewater, I think it's called the Whitewater National Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you guys have, oh, you think it looks great? Thanks, Tanya. It's hilarious. I feel like I should be like rocking it out, right? With these headphones on. It's so funny. All right, we're going to see if it helps on Facebook Live, though. But anyways, oh, good. Kelly's here. I'm going to add Kelly really quick, and then we're going to get this party started because this last week when I was in Charlotte, we went to the Whitewater National Whitewater.
Hi.
Hey, what is the place called in Charlotte? Whitewater National Park?
United States National Whitewater Center.
And everyone's like loving these. I feel like I should have like my hair like 80s, like rocking it out, right? But
yeah, you should. You look funny.
The problem is that the earbuds do not stay in my ear. I do not have the right ear for Apple Buds. So Apple needs to figure out a way to make it so that I can change the buds because they do not fit in my ear and they fall out like nonstop.
So, oh my gosh. Well, you look good rocking those right. Big things. So I like it.
Awesome. Well, anyways, guys, this is my friend Kelly Hoover. Give her some love. A lot of you guys know her. But I'm really excited because we're coming on here tonight and we are going to bring you guys some really interesting content. So if you're just joining us, if you feel like this is something fear, right? Fear is it real? Is it fake? Is it something that you can push through? If this feels like something that you might find value in or you feel like people you know might find value in, hit that share button, share with them. We also are super curious because we have friends all over the world. And so we want you to drop in the comments below where you're joining us from. Yeah, so exciting. Like, let's see. In Florida right now where I live, it's 8:30 p.m. But I know that in the UK, my buds over there, it's like 12:30 at night. So, or 1:30 at night. So crazy how it works. So anyways, drop us where you are and what time it is. And then if you're watching this later on replay, we love you. We're so glad you're here. But drop replay. It just helps us to know who's here and when they're joining us. So we're really excited about this tonight because you're going to get a ton of value out of this. You might even get some laughs. I'm not going to lie. About being able to push through fear, right? And fear is something that we all have, whether it's in life, whether it's in business, whether it's being a parent, being in a job, being an entrepreneur, being a friend, making choices in your life, right? There's a lot of times you have that cross section of life. You got to make some choices. And there's so many different times that fear will play a factor in our life. So tonight we're really going to talk about that and how to deal with fear. And so I'm really excited because my friend Kelly's on here and she saw me totally petrified in fear last week. And I'm not going to lie, I caught a couple glimpses of fear in her eyes as well. So Kelly, I'm going to throw it over to you.
Well, I was hoping you were going to say you were going to show the video of me doing a middle split when I was fearful.
I wish I had it in video. They wouldn't let us bring. So here's another thing. We weren't supposed to be videotaping or taking pictures. And at first I was kind of like, why not? I mean, we're out here all alone. What does it matter? And then Kelly brought up the good point that if we dropped our phone, we would kill somebody on the ground. Like literally the impact would kill somebody. And I was like, oh, okay, that's a pretty good reason. But I did sneak my phone a couple times when I was like standing very still. And I did not get a good shot of Kelly, and wait till you hear this story.
So you guys, we were at just a team like building fun thing in Charlotte at the United States Whitewater Center. If you haven't ever been there, you've got to go. It's where a lot of the Olympians train. And there's so much to do. Whitewater, which we didn't do because it was cold. It's cold. It's not open this time of year. But there's zip lining, which we tackled. There is so many different ropes courses. There's just so many things to do. So There's a lot that we learned about that day. And the first example that I have to give, and this was where I will share my middle split story.
It's going to forever be known as the middle split story.
It is. And I won't forget a lot of this. So, okay, so you guys, imagine this. There is 4 of us that are tackling this ropes course, okay? Now, we've been through some things. Blair's going to share another story about a prior event that we did right before this. So we're going into this, you know, a little more confident. It was towards sort of the later part of it.
No,
so
Kelly was like feeling super confident. Let's just lay that out there.
I was. That's okay. That's okay. So we're going into this. There's 4 of us. There's 4 different personalities. Okay. It's Blair, it's me, it's Ashley, and it's Jessica. Okay. 4 different skill levels. Okay. 4 different personalities. And Blair and Jessica were like, you have 3 different levels. You can go beginner, which they were like, I am, Jessica, you can add comments. I am there. Blair's like, I'm 100%.
Yeah, I got no problem saying I'm a beginner and learning as I go.
Yeah. And she was like, that's exactly, I'm confident that is where I need to go. And Jessica's like, I feel like I could probably go between, but I'm going to go and support Blair. I'm going to go the beginner. And we got
I
Ashley
think she was worried about me.
She probably was. She was going to moral support, and that's okay, right? Because that's a lesson
great.
learned.
Yeah.
And then we have Ashley, who is like 100% advanced. I'm confident. I know I got this. I've never done it before, but I got this. And I'm like, I've got this. I can definitely do intermediate. You start on intermediate, and then you get to choose. 100% confident that my skills were there. So we start on our course, right? And so they go their separate way. We go our separate way. And the first few were like, this was a little challenging, but I'm feeling confident. I got it. I'm positive mind talking. Granted, you guys, we're in the middle of the woods with a lot of clothes on because it was cold, with no guides. We are there alone, the 4 of us, tied. What are those things called? Those grip things?
I don't know, the harness? The clip?
Yeah, like a harness, but a clip. We're like clipped to this thing, you guys.
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like the clip.
Yeah, it's like whatever. Anyway, so you don't fall to the ground, but we're in the trees, and it's not like baby stuff. It's not for the faint of heart. Like, it is challenging. And so we're getting there, and I go through the first, and I'm like confident. I'm like, I am, you know, I'm talking to myself. I got this. Ashley is ahead of me, a carabiner. There we go. Ashley is done. Like, before I can even think about what I'm getting ready to do, she has already moved on. She is so fast and so good at this. I didn't even get to see her, like, her attempt at it, right? So we went through this one really challenging one, and I was having to positive self-talk myself because I was so afraid. I was so afraid that I was going to fall, even though I knew I was hooked. I was so afraid that I was like, they know they see that I'm confident. I got it. I was a little afraid of what they were like thinking, because Blair, I know, was over there laughing at me. It's true. It's okay. But I got through it, and I was like, okay. And then the next one came, and this is where the middle split happened. And let me paint you guys what this is. Imagine like planks, wood planks, about like way big. Like, my foot is too big to fit on it. And they are attached with a rope, and that's it. They're not attached to each other. Okay. And there's 14 of them. Okay.
Oh, you counted?
Oh, I counted. Yes, I counted. Stop it. But I didn't even see Ashley go through it. And I was like,
I think she flew over it.
She did. So she was like Superwoman. And they're over there, and I see them, and I'm like, they got it easy over there. Like, I was comparing my course. For me, I am not prepared for this. I've never done this before. What was I trying to be all confident and do this? And I was afraid. I was terrified. They didn't see it on my face yet. I took the first step, and then I realized, holy cow, this thing is swinging. I'm literally like flying like this. And I am on number 1, and I have 13 more to go. And I got to the next one. I put 1 foot over, and next thing I know, I went to a middle split. Like, I am literally like in the air, and I catch a glimpse of Blair, and she was laughing, but then she saw the fear in my eyes and was like, oh, like, I think she's really afraid. And I was really afraid, because here is the thing.
Not only was I worried that you're really afraid, but I'm like watching this split, and then I'm thinking, like, how is she going to get out of that split in the middle of the air?
Thank God I work out. Because literally, like, there was nobody there to help me. I had to use my strength and my tools that I know from other things, and to bring myself back together. But here's what I was afraid of, is that I knew I wasn't going to turn back, because I'd made the commitment that I was getting through this intermediate course. Okay. But I had 13 more steps to go, and I had no idea how I was going to get there. And you can relate that. I can relate that so much to life, is that you make a commitment. I made a commitment to do this course, and I was confident going in, and then I hit a wall. I hit a barrier that took that confidence right out and brought fear. And I felt so insecure in that moment, because I didn't know how to get across. And there wasn't anyone there holding my hand. So I went to the next one. The same darn thing happened. I went into another middle split. And that may have been the one you saw. I don't know. But I was doing all I could not to cry. And I'm sitting there, and I am like, okay, I've got to use the tools that I know. I've got to use my mindset. I've got to figure out a way to get across, because clearly what I did the first 2 steps is not what I needed. So sometimes I relate that to my life. I made this plan. It's not working. I tried it again. It's not working, but I still have 12 more steps to go. So I tried another way. I tried to go sideways. It didn't work either. I'm like, okay, I am really, really afraid. So the next thing I did is I asked for help. I said to Ashley, stop, please. I need you to help me here. I know you physically can't help me, but I need you to coach me through how I'm going to get across this, you guys. And she was like, she literally stood there on the plank as I am trembling in fear. And at this point in time, Blair's like, she's really afraid. And I don't get afraid of a lot of things. So this was a pretty big thing for me. And I asked Ashley for help, you guys, and Ashley gave me a resource. She told me how to get across it. It was a way I never would have thought of myself. And even though I was afraid, as I went across those 10 next steps, I used Ashley, and I leaned on her and her help and support, and she was there, and she gave me a suggestion. She gave me a resource, and I was still afraid as I was crossing it. But again, I had committed to doing this intermediate course, and I was going to get through it, because I made the commitment to myself to face it. I didn't know when I started I was going to be fearful. I didn't know I was going to be challenged. I didn't. Relate that to your life. And I got to the other side, and I jumped, and I was like, I did it! I was so happy. I was so happy. And it was just such a learning lesson for me, because there are so many times in our life, we're all guilty of this. If you say, I don't have an example of this, you're not being honest with yourself. Where we start down that path, we start down that beginner, that intermediate, that advanced, whatever it is, we're feeling confident. We run into a roadblock where we don't know what to do. We don't ask for help. Or if we ask for help, we don't apply the suggestions, the help, and then we're stuck. I could have gone backwards. I could have yelled for help and said, someone come rescue me. I can't do this. I could have given up, but I didn't. And you have to relate that to your life and to your goals about that. It was a monumental moment for me facing fear, because I truly have not had that sort of fear in a really long time.
Well, and I think you thought this is another really great lesson too, and things that we've all experienced, which is you thought going up it wasn't going to be a big deal. Mm-hmm. So you weren't prepared for that fear. There's some things that happen in our life, we're prepared ahead of time, right? We're already kind of set up for knowing that this is going to be scary. But when it's even scarier sometimes and harder to move forward is when you weren't expecting it. And a lot of you guys might not realize this, but fear and excitement actually use the exact same cortisol levels and spike your blood the exact same way and rev you up the exact same way. So when you look at a body that's having fear and a body that's having excitement, it actually looks exactly the same. So that to me is really interesting, because really all fear is false evidence appearing real. If you guys have never heard that before, write it down. You're going to want it at some point, and you're going to want it if you journal or any of that kind of stuff. It's false evidence appearing real. So it's, in that moment when I realized that Kelly was afraid, I honestly was giggling a little bit. So I saw some pure fear in her eyes. But then I know her so well, and I know that she's a very determined person, that as soon as she asked for help, Ashley gave her what to do. I knew she was going to apply it and do it and be able to get across. I wasn't worried for her for a second. And that also shows, you know, how do people look at you? How do they view you? If you get into a situation, are you going to ask for help, and are you going to apply the help? So I love that you brought that up. It is also one of my favorite parts that when we first got started. So, okay, here's another great thing, right? Think about this. You're putting on your gear. A lot of you guys have probably ziplined before. So you're putting on your gear and they're like showing you all the security stuff. And I've like ziplined. I mean, this is probably my 8th time ziplining. I zipline all the time. I've ziplined across mountains in Colorado. Like, where only thing underneath you is like a canyon, right? Like, if you dropped on that one, you're completely dead. I'm pretty sure on this one, if you dropped, you would like every single bone in your body would be broken, but you might be able to survive.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've done like scarier ones, but it doesn't matter. As soon as we started putting on that gear and they were going over the safety and how, like, you know, you understand that, you know, this could happen and blah, blah, blah. You like that feeling starts to come over your life. Do I really want to do this? And it reminded me so much of my business, because there have been times in my business where I'm like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to take this next step? Do I really want to put myself out there like that? I could just turn around now. I could just stop right now, right at this moment. And then we got up there and we started doing it. Well, once we did the first zip, then you have to go through 5 bridges, right? And the other like hanging bridges, not as bad as what Kelly went through, but they're still, they like move. And I've got like super short legs, right? And I'm going right behind Jessica, who also happens to have super short legs, okay? So I'm like, how do we even like get from one of these logs to the next log on this hanging bridge? Like, my legs don't even reach that far. And I'm watching Jessica do it. I'm like, okay, I can do it, right? Because I'm like telling myself in my mindset, I'm thinking the right things. And then I step onto it and the whole thing goes down and then it starts moving, right? And all I can think is, okay, I'm like focused on the next step. I'm like, okay, I got to cross the first one. Now you got to go to the second one. There's 5 of them. I've already made it through the first one. I totally know what I'm doing. I've got it mastered. And then I go to try to put my foot down, because you have to step down onto the bridge, and my whole body freezes. Like, it literally stops. And I remember saying to Jessica, like, how do I do this? How do I get my leg to move? And she's like, I don't know, you just do it. And so, you know, that was to me such a great example, right? Even if you've done something 100 times, it still is scary. And for me personally, that reminded me so much. Okay. Oh, and by the way, so Kelly's behind me and she's like, oh my gosh, this is totally like our business. Can you see how this relates to our business? And I'm thinking in my head, like, shut up. I just want to get across the bridge. But I said, just keep talking to me. You could tell me about it, because I was like trying to get my mind, you know, off of trying to talk about it. But I was thinking about it later, and I thought, you know, it's so funny because it doesn't matter. I know I have a product that works. I know I have a business that works. I've had great success over the last 4 years with this business. I know it's a successful business. I know that I know how to be a leader. I know that I have a product that works. I know all these things. I have plenty of proof. I can show you all the people whose lives have changed. Yet I still get nervous when somebody asks me, what do you do? I still get nervous when somebody's, you know, I reach out to somebody who I know desperately needs this product or desperately needs a business opportunity. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can totally relate to that. And I feel like I also can remember those same feelings of fear, even though I wasn't going across a mountaintop when I was a brand new mom. I remember there were times that I would be like, I would call Ryan at work and be like, I don't know what to do about this. And he's like, he's not going to break. Like, just do it. Or he would be crying for like 30 minutes in the car. And I'd call my husband crying. And he'd be like, Blair, he's not going to die from crying. Like, he's fine. Keep going. You have somewhere to be. Go to the destination. He'll stop crying when you get there. You'll feed him milk. He'll be fine. But those moments were so scary. And sometimes we get paralyzed in the fear. And sometimes you can't even take over that. I mean, that moment when I was trying to step down to that bridge, my whole body froze, you guys. But I had a choice to make in that moment. Was I going to force my legs to move on? Or was I going to stop in the fear and allow my body to take over? Because really, our mind is so powerful. Our mind can do anything. I know every time I train with my trainer, she says that. It's mind over matter. Your body's telling you that it can't do anymore, and it's lying to you because your mind is in control. And so it's the exact same thing with that. And I know so many of you guys can relate that to your business, or to your life. So where in your life, whether it's your business, your career, your family, whatever, are you paralyzed by the fear? Are you paralyzed by what you think is going to happen when you make that next step? And if that's how you're feeling today, you know, I really encourage you to think about a situation where you did persevere through it, just like Kelly did, just like I did, because we all can, right?
So true. It's so true. And the thing is that, even though you were going, like what I loved about your analogy with the bridges is that it was the same thing. And as it got on, you knew you got a little more confident each time, even though there was still that fear in there. And you had support around you, and you knew that, and you felt it. But it is like self-talk. It is like, that is why it's so incredibly important to have self-care and to get your heart and know how to feed your heart and your mind. Because when you're in that situation of fear, you have tools, and you can give yourself positive affirmations, and you can talk your way through it, and you can talk your friends through it too. So we have to chat really quick about the jumping off the platform. I mean, so you guys, this is 100-foot jump off. Okay. And we went there, and the four of us were talking about it, and Blair and I were like 100% no, not interested. It's not something we want to do. Like, we very much knew that it wasn't something we wanted to do. Jessica and Ashley were like, we want to do it. We're terrified. I was terrified for them. Terrified. But we want to do it. We're not ready yet. Like, our confidence isn't there. We are so scared that we can't do it, but we're going to consider it, right? So as we were there, as we're doing all these fun things, we climbed to the top of that 100-foot. We zipped off of that thing twice, 2 different zip lines. So they saw it. They saw other people doing it, which sort of created curiosity. It created, their more awareness of how high it is. And you guys, you literally like walk off of this plank and you jump. Like, it's not a bungee. It's like you jump straight down, right? Obviously there's, you're jumping slower. It's like, I don't know what exactly it's called, but I'm sure Ashley will tell us.
Free fall.
Free fall. Yeah. But you have to take the step. They're not going to like accidentally push you or something like that. Yeah. So you have to make the jump. So here's what I loved about this is that through the day, they kept talking about it. I loved the fact that they never pressured us. They never said, you guys should totally do it. You guys are wusses. You're wimps that you do not do this. They never said that once. They said, we really want to do it. We're terrified. We're afraid, but we really want to do it. But they never pressured us. But here's the thing, that the opportunity that Blair and I got to do. By the end of the day, they were afraid. They were terrified. But they both went up there. They climbed 100 feet. If you can catch it on our replay Facebook Live from last Monday. And they took that step without holding on to anything, and they jumped 100 feet in the air.
Yes, they did.
And it was amazing. And I love that Blair and I could be in that supportive role, because here's the thing, like, whatever it is, I mean, let's use our business for an example. Like, it's not meant for everyone. We love it, and it's never pressure for people to do it. But the thing is we supported them doing this, and having people supporting us is incredible. It's amazing. We got to cheer them on as they are facing this fear. We got to cheer them on as they got to the bottom. And when they got to the bottom, they are literally like I remember clearly Jessica is like shaking and in tears because of how excited she just had overcome that. And it was really quite inspiring that we got to witness all of that.
Yeah, it was amazing. And Kelly and I were just talking earlier today, and she was like, I had some people asking why I didn't do it, why I didn't take that, that jump on the free fall. And I said to her, to me, there are some times in your life where you just know, like, that's not the right path for me. That's not the thing that I want to do. And like, when I walked up that day, I was 100% like, nope, that I'm not going to do. And it wasn't because I was more scared of that than I was the ropes course. Believe me, I was petrified of the ropes course. It just, to me, was not something that I wanted to take the challenge of. I knew that for me, I wanted the physical challenge of going across the ropes course. And that's really interesting to me, that we all have different things that we feel and that we're excited about and that we are feeling pushed towards, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have to be self-aware. You have to be engaged with yourself and knowing that, and curious and creative. And a lot of those things will not come if you're not in the moment with yourself. So that's why I feel like journaling is so important. Quiet time is so important. Or just finding that time that you're going to walk every day or take a bath or have some alone time to read. That's where you really become in touch with who you are and what you desire and where you want to go. Oh, This is what I'm not used to. This is what I'm not used to, is having headphones. I just went like this, and like the whole phone went flying across the room. Oh my gosh. Facebook
You're
Live,
so
please
animated.
Get fixed. I know. Please get fixed.
Oh my gosh, I know, and it's so cool. So the overall experience there was so incredible because we all four walked in there, four different personalities, four different skill levels, four different set of goals that day, four different expectations, and we walked out with four different experiences, and we did virtually. I mean, we were at the exact same place. We chose a little bit of a different path, but we all ended our day with an amazing, wonderful experience. And that's truly what it's all about. It was facing those fears. It was really, truly like being able to overcome things that actually were way more challenging than we expected. So we're ready to go back, and you're going to do intermediate and I'm going to do advanced.
We'll
no.
see.
I'm just teasing.
That's what I always say to my husband and my boys when they're like, Mom, you can totally do the black runs. You should totally try skiing on the black runs. I'm like, okay, we'll look into that next year.
And then they forget. I got to get.
They bring it back up.
Oh, they do.
But I'm like, no, maybe not this year.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, you guys, y'all take these fears that we've shared, take the mindset things. And if you're not spending time, reading and giving your heart and your mind the proper attention, it's just amazing what can change. And when you are approached and you end up in these fearful situations that are unexpected oftentimes, you are prepared and you have resources that you can lean on, and you can go into your toolbox and grab that tool and help you get through that fear, whatever it is in your life.
Totally agree. Love that. Hope you guys got value out of this. It'd be fun if you share below, if you're interested, share below what things that you are really afraid of. What things either you're really afraid of or fears that you have conquered. It'd be really fun to read.
Yeah, it would.
Thanks for joining us,
Thanks for having
guys.
me. That was fun. Bye.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.